So this was recorded at Gamescom. This is PlayStation 5 footage recorded from the console, so it's not like I had a capture card hooked up to it. This is like the PlayStation share function. So the quality is not going to be the best, but it should still be pretty okay. Oh, this is interesting. The person that was playing before me gave up at the first boss. I never even noticed this. But yeah, the first boss is still there. But there's like over 1 hour of footage over here. I'm going to be talking about everything. So before we actually get into the gameplay itself, let me just tell you guys a bit about the mechanics of Phantom Blade Zero, for those of you that are not familiar. So this, in a way, a lot of people are going to call this a Souls-like. Now, unless they specifically changed some stuff for the demo, which I don't think that they did, there's a lot of things that this is doing that takes them outside of the Souls-like genre. So, for instance, the equivalent to bonfires in this game are these little bells that act kind of like checkpoints. Whenever you ring the bell, so to speak, your enemies do not respawn. At least in the demo, they didn't. I suspect that's going to be the case for the final game. The people there were not 100% sure because it was mostly just, you know, the guys were there to kind of like teach you how to play, so they learn how to play the game. They don't know exactly what developers are doing and stuff like that. But whenever you rest at one of these bells, which are the equivalent of a bonfire, the enemies do not respawn. You do, however, get like your potions back and stuff like that. You also get your special energy for the secondary weapons. You get that back whenever you ring those bells. Another thing is that, so I think it's the third major boss in this demo. He's got two phases. You've already seen that boss. They've shown gameplay of him. And the two phases of the boss, the way that it works is like you go through, you do phase one, and then you got phase two. But the thing that surprised me was, once I got to phase two, and then I went back to do another attempt on the boss was still in phase two, so I didn't have to do phase one all over again, which I think is the overall vibe that they're going for. They want challenging gameplay, but they don't want it to feel like a Herculean task like potentially some of the Souls-like games want. Not to mention that the combat itself is much more action-based than Souls-likes, but it does feature perfect parries as well as perfect dodges, which is not exclusive to Souls-likes, but a lot of people have come to associate with Souls-likes, which is the reason why I even bring it up. So, the way the game works, you have your your light attack, heavy attack using square and triangle. I say square and triangle because I played this on PlayStation controllers, so you guys should be familiar with how that works or how it translates to other control schemes. I believe that the game is also going to be available on Steam. I actually haven't looked it up all that much, but I'm fairly certain this is going to be both PlayStation and Steam. Yeah, so you have your light attack, strong attack, square triangle. Then you have your dodge and block. So blocking is L1. If you block at the very last second, you're going to do a perfect block, or you could call it a parry. There are some situations wherein the enemy's attacks will glow blue. When that happens, you have to land a perfect parry, because otherwise the attack goes through. And then there is your dodging. Dodging is going to be an R1. So dodging does have iframes, and you can also do perfect dodging. So if you dodge the very last second, you're going to get a perfect dodge. And every now and then, enemies' attacks will glow red. Guess what you got to do? You got to perfect dodge those attacks in order to get like a counter. Whenever you do perfect parrying or perfect dodging, you get like a shadow step thing that happens, and your character kind of like moves behind the enemy. They also take a ton of stamina damage when that happens. When the enemies get enough stamina damage taken, their posture breaks, and you can just like attack them with impunity. They can't block. You see right there, that was a perfect parry. But yeah, that's kind of like the basis of the game. You do attacks, you got perfect parries, perfect dodges. This is one of the things where I struggled. I was trying to do perfect dodging. It's part of the tutorial, and I failed it a bunch of times before I was actually nailing it, because the timing, I found the timing of the dodging to be a little bit trickier than the time of the parry, and on top of it, they make the dude do attacks. But there you go. That's what happens when you do a perfect dodge as well. Now, besides that, you're going to have access to two weapons that you're going to equip. These are going to be your basic weapons. that you can equip, and you have them on you at all times, and you can swap between them by pressing left D-pad. If you notice on the bottom right-hand side here, if I take my face away, you can see those weapons, right? So over here, you see that I have duals and a longsword equipped, and you can swap between those. You can even combo midway to swap weapons. And you have to swap weapons from time to time because that is one of the ways of recovering stamina. So if you're dodging too much, if you are, performing too many actions that are consuming stamina, you're going to want to swap weapons because that kind of like resets your stamina gauge and allows you to keep going. So you are going to be expected to swap weapons reasonably often, depending on how much stamina you're using and all of that. Now, besides your 2 standard weapons that you're going to be equipping, and by the way, real quick thing here, they let you choose a difficulty. Apparently, this mode, Hellwalker, is only going to be available after you beat the game in Game Changer difficulty. Now, I'm not sure if they tuned this for the show floor or not. I decided to go in Hellwalker. Didn't feel super hard. Like, it didn't... I'm not saying it wasn't challenging. Yeah, it absolutely was challenging, but it didn't... I was expecting to get completely, absolutely destroyed. Didn't feel like that. It felt very approachable, so I kind of feel like they've made this difficulty for people that like Souls games. But then it just feels kind of weird that they would lock that behind you finishing the game once. Because I get a feeling that this game is going to be very long. Like, the dude doing the demo, he was telling me... who was it that told... No, wait, this was in a presentation that they did later. But the guy doing the presentation, this was in one of the Gamescom videos. I forget if it was Future Game Show or Opening Night Live. I suspect it was Future Game Show. And the guy that was there was either the game director or something like that. And he was saying that you will finish this game and you will likely only have seen like 30% of it. So they expect you to play through the game multiple times. But... yeah, the Hellwalker definitely felt like the right difficulty for me because it was still like punishing enough where I got beat around a little bit. But yeah. Now, as I was saying, besides the 2 weapons that you're going to be equipping, there's also 2 secondary weapons that you're going to have access to. And those secondary weapons have limited uses. Now, once again, I'm going to hide my ugly mug so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to pause the game once it finishes loading, and I can show you guys what is going on. Show me the UI, please. Okay. Okay, it's not actually showing the thing, but basically this is where you choose your weapons. So you guys are going to see... Did I change the aspect ratio? Did I really just change the aspect ratio of this video? What is wrong with me? Stop. Wait, no, I cropped something. God damn it. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. As I was saying, so we're going to be choosing the weapons here. They gave us quite a few weapons to choose from. I didn't really like the soft snake sword, which is like a whip sword, but they gave you a whip sword. This jagged steel was kind of cool. Great sword's really good because you get extra benefits of great sword from parrying and doing and blocking and stuff. It powers it up. So the great sword's the one to the right of this. The chakrams are a ton of fun. And then there's like a regular longsword, dual blades, sanguine reach, whatever, and all of these weapons have a special attack that is going to be different. And you're going to be doing that attack by pressing L2. What powers that attack is like parrying and I think blocking and attacking. Parrying, blocking, and attacking all powers up the special of each of these weapons, right? So that's how you get to do the special attack of them. But these are your standard weapons. You just use them, you swap between them. Remember, you are expected to swap between them in order to regain stamina. And then these ones that I'm choosing now, these are the secondary weapons. And you have limited uses of your secondary weapons. And each of them has their own unique mechanics. So for instance, the 2 weapons that I chose now is Flaming Mane and the axe. So the axe, you can kind of like charge it. And if you charge it all the way, it's almost like a full-on true charge slash of a greatsword. It's just absolute beast single target damage. The Flaming Mane, it's kind of like, it's a flamethrower and it keeps throwing flames as long as you hold the button, and it keeps consuming the resource that you use for your secondary weapons. So, let's see if we actually perform an attack here, because that will allow me to because I want to actually be able to see the UI so that I can tell you guys a little bit more about it. So there you go. See right here where it says 10? This is the resource that you have available to your secondary weapons. This gets replenished whenever you rest at one of these bonfire equivalents, which is the bell. And whenever you rest at that bell, they give you these back. However, in the demo itself, there was no other way of replenishing this resource. So in between bells, you're going to be expected to kind of like, okay, I got to make sure that this is the enemy where I want to use this resource. It's almost like spells in Souls games, right? Where you have a limited amount of spells that you can cast. I'm assuming that in the final game, there will be like a consumable that you'll be able to use to replenish this resource before you get to the next bell. But in this demo, you can only ever get these back whenever you rest at a bell. So do keep that in mind. You can also swap your secondary weapon by pressing right on D-pad. So left on D-pad swaps your primary weapon, right on D-pad swaps your secondary weapon. R2 will do the special attack of your secondary weapon. And yeah, we'll consume the resource based on what you happen to be doing with it. But yeah, that's kind of like the overarching thing. Here in the bottom left, you'll see that we have our health, our stamina, and our Estus Flak equivalent, which is like this gourd of potion. And you will notice that as we defeat enemies, the gourd fills back up. So it's not like, oh, you used your 3 charges, now you're done. It's like if you do well in combat, you can recover this and you can keep going, which is also a really cool aspect of it for me. But now, let's go ahead and let the whole thing play through. We have a lot of stuff to go over. I'm probably going to increase the audio a smidge. Okay, this should be good. Let me know if it's too loud. I love the sound. Soundtrack's also really good. As you can see, I'm kind of like finding my way, trying to get things going. I was trying to do a perfect parry there, fumbled it. This is when I was thinking, oh man, did I do something wrong by going with Hellwalker difficulty? And then I'm like, oh, let me try the main thing. You guys will see that I'm spending the resource. Actually, you guys can't see because my face is in the way. Maybe we'll just move this over here. There, that shouldn't be too bad. So now we swapped over to chakrams. I'm trying to do the whole chakram thing. You guys can clearly see the wuxia influences that I mentioned last year when I talked about this game. And here we ran out of stamina because I didn't yet know that the way to recover stamina is just swap weapons. So like you'll notice that as we block and we do dodges and we attack, our stamina keeps getting consumed. The way to reset that is you just swap weapons and you get full stamina back rather than wait for the stamina to recover, which basically allows you to stay on the offensive rather than playing as defensive as I was playing here. Look at these animations. The wuxia animations that I was talking about. This is crazy, dude. We basically took his weapons away and then we stabbed them twice in the head. So they clearly mark the places that you can climb up. The movement is very, very smooth. Like, this has to be one of the most polished games that I played at Gamescom. It is absolutely insane how everything just kind of, like, smooths along. Like, you guys have no idea how fluid everything feels. So in here, I was trying to move through here, but this is actually limited just for this demo. I was trying to figure out what was going on. But yeah, so they kind of want you going down a linear path in this demo, because otherwise it would be almost impossible. I mean, this is a 90-minute demo that you do, and a lot of people won't even end up finishing it, especially if you go for the Hellwalker difficulty. But yeah, I'm trying to go ham, then there's this guy on the horse, and I was just like, whoa, what the crap, bro? Healing up. Let's go. You can actually dismount the guy on the horse if you play well, but in here I'm still like struggling a little bit to try to figure out exactly what I'm doing. We got a perfect parry on the guy on the horse, but then we're punishing the wrong target. And I was like, screw it! Eat this axe to the dome! Bro, these animations go so hard. The people who made the animations in this game, let me tell you about some passionate folk, okay? The animators of this game are some passionate people, like 100%. You can tell they really put their hearts into it. And notice how I've been recovering potions, because like I haven't been counting how many potions we've drunk, but we've clearly drunk more potions than however many I had at the beginning. And we're still popping. Like, I thought I was gonna drop there. Boom, perfect parry on the guy with the horse. Guy gets dismounted. Boom, punish into the finisher. There was a bit of a glitch in the animation there. A little bit of a glitch in the Matrix. Pay no mind. And then I'm going to be going through all of these lore things. People can, like, pause the video. Oh, shit. No, you can't. I realize my face is in the way. Oh, no. Let's see. What can I possibly do to fix this? Because I want people to be able to read these if they want to. Where's, transform? You can just make this go like here, maybe. And here it is. Transform. Flip. Horizontal. There. That should be good. But yeah, you guys will be able to read all that on your own time if you want. Just pause the video and all that good stuff. And here, if I ever pause awkwardly, probably means I'm receiving instructions from the guy who's like trying to teach me how to play the game.
It's functional, but not
It's
very precise.
This
Just the general direction. The rest is for me to fix. Maybe finding more of those
So they give you a map, and then as you find the bells that I was talking about, the map starts getting filled. There's tons of, like, lore things that you can kind of, like, read to know more about the world. I think the story is actually going to end up being a good high point of this game, but I haven't looked into it too deeply. It's just a sneaky suspicion I have. So here I see two little dudes coming, and I'm just, like, trying to make sure that I don't go too aggro like I went in the beginning. Look at them feigning attacks and whatnot. And so you have combos that you do in this as well. So like square, square, triangle, triangle, or square, triangle, 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 or just triangle, 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 full squares, that type of stuff. And depending on what you do, and depending on which weapon you're using, you're actually going to get different combos with that. Like right there, the swap into the chakrams actually does a dodge backwards. You see these threads are very important, because this is what tells you where bells are. Like, if you notice, when you're close to a bell, these threads will appear that kind of, like, attach to your character. Like, see right there? That's letting you know there's a bell nearby. So you do the bell, boom. You're going to recover everything, and the enemies don't respawn. Hey, King Darius, what's up? Is this a demo? Yes, this was a demo that I played at Gamescom. So the path is actually that way where the bell was, but there's a dude in here that gives you a little bit more story context and stuff.
Please, help Allied Justice. Those Allied Justice disciples I've seen, they're no longer. He forced us to accept what he called.
Release date hasn't been announced. It's 2026.
A pretty name doesn't change the fact.
Yes, Eugenie, in this demo, enemies don't respawn, and I think it's going to be the same for the final game. No, I'm not going to be playing the new Metal Gear Solid. I have too many games that I want to play. He's teaching me about, like, oh, these are checkpoints that you can kind of just, like, come in here and pay attention to the threads and yada, yada, yada. In here, you're meant to actually backstab this guy, but I fumbled it for some reason, and I wasn't able to do the backstab. Victor, thank you very much for being grossly incandescent for 29 months. As a long beard, you Giga Chad, tip of the hat. Appreciate the support, thank you. Like, look at these gorgeous animations, dude. And the thing is, you know how sometimes you have these games that animate really well, but then they play like crap? That is not the case, because this is me actually playing the game, and let me tell you, it felt absolutely smooth. Smoother than it has any right to feel for a friggin' showcase demo. Because again, this is just the build that they took to Gamescom, and it just feels so smooth, dude. Like, I know I'm getting the crap beat out of me. That's because I did not know about the Shashi mechanic, and I was just overwhelmed. I went into, like, 3 enemies and got absolutely blasted. I deserve that. But, like, when you are playing this game, every move you make feels intentful. And there's a lot of, like, animation canceling through dodging and stuff like that that you can do. It is a straight-up action game, and it just feels real smooth to play. As smooth as the top of your head? No, smoother, because the top of my head's a little bit rough because of the odd patches of hair that I have on there. Just like small patches that cover up a little bit of my baldness. And with this game, you don't have to worry about that. Look at that. Did you see that perfect parry right there? And then I ran out of stamina. I didn't run out of stamina. Actually, I was trying to do the special. And so they punish you for trying to, like, go for things that you don't have the resources to do. Because I did not have resources to do the special. They're like, oh, you're trying to just mash and see if you can get away with it. No, 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 no. You have to be intentful about the buttons that you press. And then each of those secondary weapons has their own mechanics. So, like, the shield... Not the shield, the axe, you actually have to charge it if you want to do the full damage. And then there's a sword that actually has different inputs that you can do, which is something that I'll use in the final boss to get, like, a special attack done. You see me just, like, seamlessly swap between the 2 weapons right there? Like, look at that. It just feels so good. And then swap into your secondary. Boom. Boom! Mid-combo. It just... Bro, I cannot express through words how this just feels so great to play. It's insane. That would be the backstab attack kind of thing that you got going. So you've accepted it, huh? Exactly. So in here was calling my attention, that little purple thing, because you actually can't get it now, but they show it to you now, so that potentially later, when you're later at the level, you'll remember that it was there and you'll come and get it. Look at this. They did not hold back in these animations, I'm telling you. Even a basic enemy can kick your ass if you're not careful. See, in here I was trying to do more ranged attacks because you can throw the chakrams, and that depends on which combo you're doing. Like, one of the combos that I found really good was square, square, triangle, triangle, because it does like 2 melee attacks into 2 ranged attacks and jumps you back. It's very useful when you're trying to be defensive. Oh man, look at these. Gorgeous. Perfect parry right there. Going in for punishes. Busted his gauge, which means we can now also do a finisher because he's got like no health. Look at this. The wuxia stuff is just so good. Double assassination. Because when you do an assassination, if there's another enemy close by, I'm assuming this is going to be a skill tree thing that you'll eventually be able to invest in, but for the demo they had it turned on. So it's like you just get to punish the other guy for doing an assassination close to where he was. And here I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this level. I got a little bit lost, and there's an archer up there. I could pull out a bow as well, because you do have access to a bow, and you can swap weapons whenever you want. But at the same time, I've used up all of the resource. You can see it on the bottom right-hand side. I've used all of it by smashing people with the axe, and now I'm a little bit lost. I don't know exactly why the archers didn't have like a posture gauge, but I guess they're not as important. Headshot. Look at that! I love how the camera just moves in to capture the head getting chopped off. If you guys actually go back, you'll see the camera actually... Oh, let me just reposition the camera real good so that you can see your character chop this dude's head off. Traversal also super smooth. Like, nothing about this game ever really felt rough at any aspect. I guess maybe the swapping of targets was a little bit challenging for me at times, but I think that with practice, you can kind of like be able to fix that just fine. So this is the special attack of this sword, which is why I was able to do so many attacks in a row. Get chopped up. And that was me recovering another potion. Yeah, just looking over this footage just makes me want to play this demo again. It was so good. Look at this. It's crazy. I was like, no! There's treasure here. I go through these real fast because I was like, I can read these later in a video or something.
I never become one of those things.
Do other areas have more color? We only really played in this area, so the biome doesn't really change much in this demo. ESS99, yes, I'm likely going to be streaming Path of Exile 2 tomorrow. Oh yeah, these combos, and by the way, you've only seen 2 weapons, which you will see a lot of Greatsword and Chakrams. Those ended up being my 2 favorite weapons. I think I show off almost all of the weapons except for those red ones, because the red ones I showed off in last year's demo. So I tried focusing on showcasing other weapons. That's the special attack again, because we had just charged it. So I just like unloaded on this guy. As we're about to break him and he's low on health, gonna be able to execute him. And now there's like a dude firing stuff at me. I think I might actually die here, because I was struggling a little bit. And again, I know that I see some people in chat saying, man, the animations look so good. They don't just look good, they feel good, which is even more important than looking good. They feel extremely responsive, and it just feels good to pull off and execute. Like, it feels like you are in control. You're actually doing the things that generated that animation, and you're just not... God, that looks so good! You're not just like mashing buttons for no reason. You're not just mindlessly mashing. Well, I guess maybe if you're on a lower difficulty, you might be able to pull that off. But yeah.
Out in the open. Better watch out. I won't last long without cover.
I should listen to what he's saying. That would be smart. Wall running into an aerial one-shot. Into another bell, which means we now have the special again. Forget if I swap weapons here or not. I think I was trying to figure out, do I want to swap things? Do I want to keep these? Oh yeah, this was when I was asking the dude how it worked. Like, do I recover this? Do I not recover this? And he's like, no, you have to go to the bells to recover it. And then I was asking, oh, will there be like consumables? And he's like, maybe? Like, it's like soul spells. And he's like, yeah, kind of like soul spells. The very thing you just said is the impression I got from Onimusha. Yeah, Onimusha is also really, really good. It's just, I didn't get to see nearly as much of Onimusha as I got to see of this game, which is why I think that this impressed me a little bit more. But Onimusha is still absolutely phenomenal. Here he was calling out my attention to the little purple thing that we had seen earlier. So yeah, these are kind of like God of War things. So, you know, you collect 3 of these and it increases some stat of yours. So that's going to be a part of the collection element of the game. Yeah, parry and block transition is so smooth. It's crazy. So in here I was like, well, these guys are fighting each other. I don't care. I'm moving on. And so in here we see an area, like if you see the ground there, for starters there's a bell that we didn't use because there's threads. But like there's an area there which they've shown in their gameplay trailer that requires a specific weapon to open, so that ground there. So this game is also going to have some light Metroidvania elements, as well as the boss that we're about to fight here. You only get to fight that boss if you have the axe weapon, which in this case, they allow us to have the axe weapon. And by the way, the level we're doing, this level that we're playing, is a completely optional level that you don't even have to do in the main story of the game. Like, all of this polish put into creating this level flow, these enemies, these boss fights, all of this is optional. Okay? You don't have to do this level at all in the critical path of the game. Is there animation canceling? For some animations, yes. Like, you can cancel certain attacks into blocks or dodges and all of that good stuff. I mean, hell, you can cancel certain attacks into weapon swaps, recover your stamina, and then do a special attack of that weapon for transitioning. And here I think I'm gonna get my ass kicked because I was trying to fight these guys and I just don't have enough practice yet. I didn't say it's Metroidvania-like. I said it will have some light Metroidvania elements. That was like a perfect dodge there that allowed me to put his own weapon into him. Oh, look at this. That was the special move of the weapon. Perfect parry. And I got to move all of them back. Like, it is crazy how good this feels. Like, listen to the sword clashes, another perfect parry. And then I was like, ugh, the ledge. My mortal enemy, the ledge. Into a kill shot. Like, the wuxia vibes in this game are through the goddamn roof. But is there a gun lance? None that I've found so far. As a matter of fact, most of the weapons seem to be swords.
Did you see how they have changed after the procedure? They're now like empty shells, hardly human anymore.
So the story here is that these dudes are being converted into these spirits.
Allied justice
These crazy
itself
looking
has become
creatures that
one
we're
damn
putting down.
empty shell.
Yeah, Zero, Wu Chang's also real solid. Now see that door right there only opens if you have the axe. Another bell, another checkpoint. And it's like, well, I just want to kill everything before I go and do the boss. And here I was trying to sneak up so that I could do the special double assassination. Better Assassin's Creed game than Assassin's Creed actual assassinations. Crazy, bro! One of the things that I was really bad about doing was actually using the specials of my weapons. Any plan on playing Ghost of Yotei? I'd love to. We'll see how things pan out because September is looking mighty busy. Like, listen, my priority right now is actually Hell is Us. That's the game that I really want to play. Because let's face it, on the opening of Path of Exile 2, even though I'm going to be playing that, most people already have the streamers that they want to go and watch. So it's fine if I play Path of Exile 2 League a little bit later, because it's supposed to last, like, I think 3 or 4 months or something like that. So I'll have plenty of time to jump into PoE. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of Lost Soul inside, and then I really just want to jump into Hell Is Us when that comes out. Well, when I'm allowed to stream it. I'm gonna play the crap out of Hell Is Us. That's gonna be like my thing. And don't you guys be spoiling it on my streams, by the way. Yeah, and here I was trying to like see you can't really do hidden assassination on this guy. And now we're using greatsword and daggers as well as a different weapon. I'm using that ink sword, but I don't know how the ink sword works. Well, no, wait, is that the ink sword? I think it is the ink sword. I don't know exactly how the ink sword works at this point, so all of the uses that I do of the ink sword are absolutely terrible. But then I end up using the ink sword to kill the final boss of this demo. Because it's actually really good. So what got me here are these stupid birds. And even though I keep like animation canceling into parries, the birds are just shredding me down. Like, look at that. These goddamn birds. Night Rain just announced the Deep of Night Hard. Is that the final boss? Ruri, I don't know how you managed to play so many games. Yeah, I don't play that many games, to be honest. There's too many games to play right now, yeah. It's kind of rough, like, trying to schedule everything. Which is a good problem to have. Like, I feel like we see so many bad news about the industry and everything is going wrong. Gaming industry is dying, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, I'm like, bro, I don't have enough time to play all of these amazing games that are coming out. Like, what do you mean? So that's the Ink Sword special right there. And this time I was able to isolate Horse Guy. See, this is why I like the Greatsword in this game. Because it's all about the parrying. And that's like my jam, blocking, parrying. Then in here I'm trying out these dual blades. I'm not the biggest fan of these dual blades. I was trying to show off their moveset a little bit. But this is also the wrong time to try showing off movesets while we're fighting these dudes. I'm getting like bounced around. Heavily punished. Oof. Ink Sword again. And that's the special of the Ink Sword right there. See, if you do the Ink Sword inputs correctly, you get to do that, which is that little whirling thing. But it's a little bit tricky. At the end of the day, though, this is still my favorite one. Boom, boom. Boom. It's just so good. It's like your argument's great, but triple axe slash. I love how the horse guy just left after I dismounted him. He's like, alright, you took my horse, guess I'll leave. It's probably a bug in the AI or something. I was trying to figure out a little move there. And I'm like, well, since you left, I'm just going to go up and stab you in the back. Deep of Night is a hard mode, different difficulty. We're talking about Night Rain real quick, guys. Deep of Night is hard mode, different difficulties that go up as you clear Night Lords. Also more relics for specifically Deep Dark. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Yeah, see, in here I'm like, oh, what's this? And there it shows the icon of the weapon you have to go and get in order to be able to go through here. And I was trying to see if there was anything else back here, just doing a little bit of exploration. I'm going to be recovering potions and all that jazz here. I reject a reality and substitute my own. Axe to the face. So now you're going to get to see a nice little death montage, because as you guys can imagine, first boss, Hellwalker difficulty. I have no idea what I'm doing. But as you can see, even here, you need to have the axe in order to open this to come over to the boss. Look at Big Chungus over here. Look at the music. Listen to music. The Copper Mall. That's actually a mechanic when he like gets you with the when he gets you with the sand. That was a grab, command grab. That's a goddamn beast that just beats the crap out of you. This is the special of the greatsword. I'm trying to do the special of the axe, but he interrupted me. So in here, I was trying to parry these, which is not smart. You really don't want to parry this. You want to dodge it. No, I'm trying out these duels, but like I said, I really don't like these duels. It was terrible. I love the sand in the camera mechanic. It's an interesting mechanic. You saw me swap there and get full stamina. So my first attempt was actually one of the best attempts that I did on this boss, because the following attempts were so bad. He grabbed me again. The grab is not that fast. My reaction time was just too slow. Because you get the red glow right before it's happening, then you just have to time it. The timing is a little bit tricky, so yeah. This is your damage opening, and we got like almost no damage in at all, which was terrible. That was the special of the greatsword again. Charging up a full whammy with that axe. Like I said, I actually did really well on my first attempt. It was the attempts after that where shit went real bad. Boosh. And so, obviously, I'm gonna let you watch all the deaths. Get spin to win. Bonk. Bonk. Big Chungus just kills you dead. Bonk. That's a real good argument, but big mace to face. Bonk. I think that at some point the player guide they had assigned to me, he was just like looking at me and was like, oh no, he's gonna be mad that he's dying. I don't think he was understanding I was having a blast. I was like, yes, this, you don't understand, this is why I play these games. But anyways, yeah, this is the attempt where I got him. As you can see, I've kind of solidified my choice of weapons at this point. I like greatsword and I like chakrams. We countered it right there. That was the grab, and we were able to counter that. That's why we jumped on his weapon. And in here, I'm swapping weapons to get some distance, and because the dodge of these is a little bit better. And then swap into greatsword. Keep the punish going. Block. Regular block still. What? Parry? What's up, dodge? I'm like AMC Hammer. You can't fucking touch this. Ooh, I did so many perfect parries there, though. That was so good. Boom. Dodge them. Put them in the ground. I'm trying to capitalize, but I was too far away, so I fucked it up. And now here comes the special. Boom. Tons of damage. And now I'm pulling off the move that I said with the Ink Sword. Like, Ink Sword is probably one of the most powerful special weapons. Ink Sword and Axe, that's the real bee's knees, dude. Isn't the screen dust a bit too much? It's intended. It's a gimmick of the boss. If the boss hits you with the dust, you can't see. That's intended. You want to be sure that you dodge those so that he doesn't take your camera away from you. I actually think that's a really cool gimmick. No, that's part of the cinematic of the counterattack that I did. The jump. This is part of the counter. You don't really jump on top of enemies because you have this weapon. Look at all these perfect parries, bruh! I was cooking in this attempt. Perfect dodge. Ooh, and then he busted me. Ooh, that was so close. I got the sword on him so that I could break him because I have no heals right now. But we broke him and we got him. You lied to me. Bonk. And now we just take his weapon. As that is the reasonable thing to do. The bash pole. So now you can exchange that through one of the other weapons. I took away the ink sword. Because at this point, I was still like, ink sword, schmink sword, whatever. But ink sword is like real good. So now I went back because I remembered that I had seen the thing back here, which had that weapon to open it. And I was like, schmah. Boom. Here's your Metroidvania right here. You basically get like a little bonus item. Oh yeah, you get an additional charge for a heal for doing this. Which is pretty friggin' good, as you can imagine. Now we have 4 heals. Then I was like, oh, it's not this way. Okay. You're actually meant to go up there to the right. I was actually a little bit lost here. Boom! Aha! Double. I love this stuff. The double assassination is so good. Great sword, strong. Very good. So in here I was trying to like, okay, what else should I showcase? I think I played these a little bit, but it's like, we've seen these in the previous title update, so is it really that important that I show them? So this is the highest difficulty, yes, this was Hellwalker difficulty. I was like, alright, let's show off the soft snake sword. This is the whip sword for all those of you that want the whip sword.
That's surprise. Do you know how to get into the
I think it's also going to be on Steam, but I'm not 100% sure, Ketnet.
You're here to die too. Suit yourself then. Take the path on that side, beyond the pigeon loft, and the skywalk along the cliff. 3 burning beacon towers. 7 swordsmen. The leader. I don't know his name. They call him Alcade. They have the key you need. Much appreciated. Beware of the 7 stars in their sword formation. Together, they have slain countless evildoers. But now, they're dark and hollow.
So you get to play more after that boss? Oh yes, this was a 90-minute session. There's 2 more bosses. Well, one of them's like a small boss.
Yes, it takes away your heart, leaving only a husk. They put you to sleep. And when you wake up, you're not human anymore. You mean your... My face is evaporating, right? Never mind it. I poisoned myself. And death will claim me long before I transform into one of those things. Lily, let me die in peace.
These were a little bit more annoying. I struggled a little bit with these. And I'm also not a big fan of the moveset of this weapon. It's a little bit too wobbly, so I find it hard to kind of like read. Which is why I instantly swapped back to Greatsword. I'm like, okay, you might be winning. Let me just switch to my big bonk stick, and I'll show you who's winning. But these actually will parry and mess you up if you're not careful. This is the weapon we just got. They used up 2 of our charges. Double assassination. I just love that. We seem to be getting a little bit of audio glitches. Might be because we were recording for so long and the PlayStation was like, I'm struggling a little bit here. Just a little dev kit trying to run this unfinished game. So this guy had a specific mechanic where he heals these dudes, and I was trying to like brute force through it, but he just keeps resurrecting them. So you have to kill these 2 that are powering up the healer, then you have to kill the healer himself, and then you get to kill the rest of them. So this one was significantly harder.
Enough is enough. I've got to get rid of this healer figure for good.
So the healer, even though he's down here, he's still gonna heal the other dudes if you start attacking them. So he heals people and he CCs you, which makes him really annoying.
Gotta get rid of this healer figure for good.
This is why the character's voice is constantly saying, I gotta get rid of this healer. That spin is so satisfying. I found the axe attack to be even more satisfying than that. How many weapons can you have at once? 4. 2 of them are secondary though, so you have limited uses of them, and then you have your 2 main weapons that you can use. Takes a lot of hits to take down common enemies. Again, remember, this is the maximum difficulty, so in Game Changer it'll probably be easier, which is the difficulty before this one. Yeah, in Hellwalker, normal enemies can beat the crap out of you, but it's not like it takes a lot of hits to kill them. It's just that if you pay attention to what you're doing, or better yet, if you play well, it doesn't take that much. Whenever it seems like I'm taking too long to kill them, it's just because I'm not playing well. Because that's what I've noticed. It's like if I'm playing well and I'm actually focusing them down, you can get shit done really fast. But if you're just like swapping between targets, they recover their stamina and you're not breaking chi, then you're just kind of like fucked. Because you need to break them to deal proper damage. Which is why in this particular part, it seems like it's really rough because he's constantly healing them as well, on top of them recovering their shashi, which is their stamina. So, yeah. But if you're actually focusing them down, like, they will go down real fast. Like, you see me focusing this one down, it's just the other guy is healing him, so I have to kill the healer first.
That floating healer is feeding off the shashi.
Yeah, the root attack is really annoying. So see, in here I was like, what about if I just kill everyone? right? That was my thought process. I was like, no, you can't heal this person because I'm going to kill them. See, right here, I was like, yeah, fuck you, I killed them. What you gonna do now? And he's like, well, I guess I'll just resurrect them because you're gonna see the guy that, see, he shot something red back there. And now if you look back, the guy that I just killed, he's resurrected. And I was like, well, fuck. You can't do that. I was like, all right, fine. I guess I have to kill the healer first. Then I just tried isolating the healer. I thought that I would be able to kill these, but he can still resurrect them even though he's not up in the air. So like I was still going like, no, I'm gonna kill them now because you're in the ground. You can't resurrect them. And then watch this. He's just gonna go like, yes, I can. I was like, no, stop! Stop resurrecting them, goddammit! I hadn't figured out the mechanic yet, and then I was like, okay, so he's always gonna be able to resurrect. Well, fine. Then I'll just beat the shit out of you then. Now, the healer is tanky as hell. He is. But that's the whole thing. His whole thing is he's tanky, he doesn't deal that much damage, he's just annoying. Combat is very clean, Cypher.
Patching them up as I take them down.
Time to die, Mr. Healer, sir.
I've got to get rid of this healer figure for good.
Now we got a potion back, and now I can just like, yep, screw you guys. Y'all are dead. Boom, and we get an amber chip, which is another one of those God Award type of power-ups that once you collect a certain number of them, it increases one of your stats. This already looks polished. Wonder why I don't have a set release date yet. They're probably still working on content, if I had to guess. I was just going to see if you could do something back there, but no, it's limited. They don't let you go back there in the demo.
She came back. She's determined to die together. That cultist vixen. Now, she's transcended. And so have we. We are all one and the same.
Mind blown emoji. In the demo, it's a preset character, and yeah, I think it will just be a preset character. You just have John Phantom Blade Zero. That's your character. So in here, I was seeing something purple, and I was like, "Oh, how do I go up there to get the purple thing?" It's another one of those, you know, go up, then come back down, and then you can get the item. Look at how smooth the traversal is, though. So this is the one where, if you remember, we watched that gameplay that we reacted to, and they leave, and so then she interferes with the final fight, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna kill you, so that way you can't interfere with the final fight. The wuxia vibes on this fight are crazy. That's the special. Bam. That's a good argument. But what about my axe, though?
Should I leave her be and push on for now?
That should have been like a perfect dodge. It was the only way to dodge that one. Right there, we did it. have to swap weapons because stamina. Except I really don't like this goddamn weapon. I was like, alright. What about this, though? I think I actually whiffed that last hit. I don't think that counted. It just staggered her. The special? Oh, that's crazy. And the finisher.
I will be waiting on the other side.
And we got like something that increased our attack power and breaching power. And I almost fumbled that. Yeah, the animations are phenomenal, dude. Yeah. You can not fight her if you want to. Watch my greedy ass just jump to death. I was like, alright, let's go! I'm ready! I'm ready for everything! Except gravity. Does that axe move have super armor? It doesn't, but it has a little bit of hyper armor. It won't stop everything, but it will stop like some minor attacks and stuff. Still jumped all the way down like an idiot, and then I get my face bashed in by these dudes. Look at him just throwing rocks at me. Yeah, I really just started gravitating towards a greatsword in this game. That's the execution move, but I was like, I'm so done with this weapon. Give me the chakrams. Chakrams so good! Chakrams was like one of my favorite weapons. It was a greatsword and the chakrams when it came to this demo. 100%. Hey, Redbox Gaming, what's up? He's got that ink sword going. These animations, like we've been watching this demo for almost an hour now, and these animations still look absolutely gorgeous.
Isn't so? I think it takes away the way I see it.
Yeah, Redbox Game, it's an amazing game. With that perfect parry. Jerry Sherry, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. Yeah, chakrams are hella fun. And I think that this is the final boss now. The game's name is Phantom Blade Zero. Yeah, I found my hat. Perfect dodge. You have to really pay attention to this boss's tells, because this is a pretty challenging one. But luckily you don't have to redo phase 1 once you complete that. Which is actually a detail that I kind of liked. Because like sometimes I get tired of like, oh yeah, you've done phase 1, but what about phase 2 all over again? And you have to like learn phase 1 10 times before you get to practice phase 2. So in here I'm just trying to punish with range throws, because that's something that the chakrams excel at. And usually if I swap weapons, it just means that I ran out of stamina. Perfect parry. Into death. Missed the perfect dodge. With the perfect parry as well. Perfect parry done. Kick to the dome. And the finishing blow. This boss, even though it's simple, just the simple fact that he's hanging on by threads makes him so much harder to read. Like, you guys have no idea. Once you'll actually fight it, you'll see. It becomes so much harder to read because he's hanging like this upside down. And listen to the soundtrack at this point. Yes, this is my demo playthrough. And here we die. I was like, wait, what? And again. That mechanic, bro. That mechanic's no joke. And one more time. This time it wasn't that mechanic. But like I said, it's like he's just hard to read because of the fact that he's just hanging on from threads and stuff. But yeah, this is the one. So what I did was I'm just like, I just need fast weapons, bro. I need fast weapons. So I was like, fine, put these two plus the chakrams. And then I also used the ink sword. And now you're going to see the thing that I was talking about, the ink sword just being giga busted. It's like, check this out. I'm like trying to spam for parries. Berry fishing right here. Call me the fisherman, because I'm fishing for them berries, bro. And here I'm just burning his stamina through him blocking the chakrams. And I'm like, okay, we busted him. We did a ton of damage. Now we're going to back off, do the ink sword. And here I'm trying to do the ink sword. There it is. Got him. Because, like, that thing will just stay dealing damage. And I'm just like, oh, this is great. That's what I need to do more. I'm like, all right, here's the ink sword again. That one was kind of a whiff. We whiffed it quite a bit there. I can't believe we killed him on this attempt. That's crazy. Look at my health. I have no more potions. Like, yep. That's a really good argument, but ink sword, bro. And I dodged everything this time. So, nope, you got nothing, brother. Here comes the ink sword for the punish again. Woo! Ink sword OP. Perfect dodge. Ink sword coming again. That was my last use of the ink sword, actually. That's when we got him. You're dead. It is what it is.
After what happened to Red, I've simply stopped caring. Yes, the Esquire is creating pawns with perfect transcension. But guess what? We're pawns anyway. Be it the Esquire or Allied Justice, they manipulate us all the same. Listen, we're doing perfect transcension, but not to better serve someone. Going forward, we will control our destinies. I've said my piece. The door's right there if you don't agree. Now who's with me?
And there you go. That is the end of the demo. I think it shows like some stats now. Like the difficulty we were in. Yeah. This was the thing that I published on social media networks. I posted it to Twitters, to the Twatters. Here it is. Difficulty Hellwalker, total time 1 hour 17 minutes, death count 15. We died 15 times, most of which was in the bosses. And yeah, it's absolute blast. I cannot wait for this game. Hands down, one of the biggest highlights of Gamescom. It is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. Really, really well polished. And I think people are going to love this. It's just a really fun game to play. Like, it animates beautifully, plays even better. That's the thing. But, yeah. This is going to become its own video in the channel. I'm going to cut this up and put it up on the channel. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And even if you're on stream, you should hit the like button, right? And subscribe for more. We'll be covering this one for sure. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.